Hi friends and my dear students. Now today in this tutorial I am going to discuss the method overloading, right? So what is first method overloading? In that, suppose writing more than one method with the same name inside the class and assigning them different tasks is called as method overloading. Whenever on है मेरा So whenever we talk about method overloading or anything overloading, which means assigning them more number of tasks. Similarly, what I told is that we are writing a class. We are writing a class. Suppose here the class which we are writing is the arithmetic class. Suppose I am writing. Inside this class, as I told, like writing more than one method with the same name. Yes, of course, I am writing more than one method, like suppose void of, suppose you are writing here the sum one method you are writing. I have written one method here, fine. And second one method, again one method I am writing void of sum. Understand now here. I am writing more than one method with the same name. So I have written more than one method with the same name. But will it be okay? No. Why? Because in a class we cannot write more than one methods with the same signature. Because here the methods which we are writing, the return type, okay, anyhow return type of that, I am not talking about that, but the parameter of these both methods are the same. And in a class, in a context, we cannot write more than one method which is having the same number of parameters. Is it okay? So first, whenever we are overloading any method inside a class, whenever we are overloading any methods inside a class, so we need to remember following things. Number one, method name must be same, right? Method name must be same. Second one, method return type could be anything. Method return type can be anything. Method return type can be anything. And now again, when we talk about the method parameters, third one, method parameters should be different in following order, like number one. What is that? Number one, method parameters should be different in following orders, which means like first one is the number of parameters. Number two, when I am writing, so number one is the number of parameters, right? Number two, I am writing here is the type of parameters, and third option which I am writing is the sequence of parameters. It must be different in the following order, right? So when I am writing a class, and after writing a class, if I have written some method here, so when I am writing some method here, no issues, But next time when you are writing another sum method, when you have written one method sum, you are writing another sum method. So this sum method must have some parameter. Let's say you are writing one more int a parameter. If you are writing this, then only it is okay. At the second case, when you are writing, suppose when you are writing void of sum, in that, see, one parameter is here also, right? So if we'll talk about this method and we talk about this method, sum method, so here we don't have any parameters, here we have one parameter, right? So in that cases, the number of parameter varies. Here there is no parameter, here we have a parameter, right? Again, when the sum case, in that if itself I am writing here the byte of b1. So understand here now, the sum one parameter which we have here, here also one parameter is there, but the type of parameter got changed. Here we have int and here we have byte. So this is the type of parameter is now changing here. Similarly, now here if I can write, like suppose I am writing, again I am writing void of something sum of, I am writing here int of a and int of b. Then in this case, here you see that int a and int b, when I am writing these methods, fine. So in that, see the type of parameter here, type of parameter same. Here also int parameter is there and here also int parameter is there, but the number of parameter gets changed. So here it is an one parameter only and here we have two parameters, right? Similarly, if suppose or else like you are writing one more method, so the sequence of parameter also can be changed. If suppose the type of parameter is the same, so we can change the sequence of parameter also, right? Like this. Suppose when I am writing void of again m1 method, in that suppose first int is there and then what is there, byte is there. So another method, here you write it sum, another method when you are writing void of sum. So in that first you could write the byte and then you could write the int. That is also one way, like which I was talking about here, that is the sequence of method parameter, right? Now in the case of method overloading, whenever we talk, so the method overloading which we are trying to write or which we are trying to achieve, so method call in the case of method overloading always depends on the parameter which you are passing while calling the method. Is that okay? So in the case of method overloading, method call depends on the type of parameter which you are passing while calling the method. Clear? Right? It is inside that. Now then, I'll do one thing. I'll write you one small program and then I'll show you what is the way and how we are calling any method and how method processing is being done. Because see, when we are writing these method parameters, so the method parameters could be anything. And in that order itself, in order to call that methods, we must have to call that corresponding method, or we must have to pass that corresponding type of parameter. Now, when we talk about OOPS concepts, so out of all the OOPS concepts, there is one very important concept called as polymorphism. And in order to achieve the compile time polymorphism, we must have to overload a method. When we are overloading a method, so by overloading the method itself, we can achieve the, what we can say, that is the compile time polymorphism, right? So in order to achieve compile time polymorphism, what is polymorphism we will say? So polymorphism is what? One form behaving differently in different cases. For example, you can say the same method name is there and the behavior of method is dependent on the what parameter we are passing to that, right? So if the behavior of method is dependent on what parameter we are passing, accordingly we can go for the further cases, right? It is. So I'll write one small example on this. You just focus on that. Right. Now here, suppose in that case, now just look at this. Now I'll write one class here in that p2. I'll make it the package name. Somehow it is not Now say here, in this class itself, I am writing something. What I am writing now? One class, arithmetic I am writing. The same thing which I am writing here again. The void of some method I am writing inside this C. Here I will just show that is the sum in which class now? Arithmetic class I am writing here. Can I write it? The parallelly again I am writing void of sum. Inside that now I am passing one more parameter here, and here inside this case sum of which one now? One parameter, so that we could understand arithmetic. One parameter I have passed. Similarly, I am just changing the method parameter type. So since it is available that as an int, so next one what I am writing here is that like int of suppose instead of int I am writing here the byte of b. So inside this also what is there now? Sum of which one now? I am writing byte of b in which class now? Arithmetic class I am writing here. Fine. Now see, one more method I am writing. Let's see, and one more thing. The return type of the method parameter, you could write anything here. So I am writing return type of the method. In that, here suppose you are writing sum in which class now? Arithmetic class. So here see that first I am writing int a, and again I am writing that is the byte of b. Remember here. So first, in order to just satisfy some values I am writing so that it should not give any error, and when I am doing this, so here in that int of a, and then I am writing byte of b I am writing here. Can I write it here? So see, here the number of parameter got changed, but again when I am changing here again, so the sequence of parameters I am writing here in the different case like b, and then I am writing what now? Int of a, which we could make it out here. What is that? Sum of which one? Byte of b and int of a in which class now? Arithmetic class we are writing. So see, first I will repeat and say again, the method which I have written here, number one, there is without any parameter, here with one parameter. So the parameter of the method gets changed. Now if the sum which I am writing, byte of b1, b I am writing, so one parameter I have written, here two parameters by changing the data types and all. And the last method which I have written here inside this, so that is the byte of b1, byte of b, and then int. So if you will see the previous method, this one and this one, so this method has been overloaded, no doubt, but the sequence of the parameters just we have changed. Now, as when we talk about the, in order to achieve compile time polymorphism, we must have to overload the method. When we are overloading, so see, whenever we are trying to overload any kind of method first, so in that method now see, the method behavior is dependent completely on the type of parameter which we are passing for that. So I am writing here arithmetic AR is equal to, what is that now? New of arithmetic I am writing. Fine. After writing the arithmetic, here see, I am calling AR dot, now see sum. See, this method now is going to call which one now? Matching method parameter. Which is the matching method parameter here? The matching method parameter is this one, which is not having any kind of parameter in this case. Okay. The next case, what next we are going to do is that I am writing again AR dot, what is that AR dot now? Sum of, in that, see, now it depends, like out of all the above methods, which method will be called, that depends completely on the basis of that what parameter we are passing here. So I am writing suppose 111 I am writing. So when I am writing 111, in that which method is going to call now? It is going to call some method called as int of a inside the arithmetic class, right? So that's what I told. That is the behavior of this method changes according to the parameters which we are passing. Whatever parameter we are passing, accordingly that corresponding things which is going to come inside that. Fine. So this is the basics, you can say, of method overloading. In that again I am writing sum. Here see, like I am writing 1 1. So see, if I'll ask you one question, The question is what? When you are passing 1 1, which method is going to call? Either sum of int a is going to call or some byte of b is going to call. In that, of course, it is going to call the int. Why? Because any value which you are passing, the default type is the int type, so it will call the int. But the next question, when we talk about the range of this byte and int and the value which I am passing in order to call this, what value I am passing? 1 1. So when I am passing these values to call this, so in that, what is there here? Like the values whichever we have passed here, it is going to call that method, right? But see, it is also coming under the range of byte as well as under the range of int. So why byte 1 is not going to be called? So I must have to, what I have to do now? I must have to typecast it. When I am typecasting, I am making it sure that it is a byte type of variable. So since it is a byte type of variable, so then that is going to call. So what is going to call now? Sum of, that is byte of b inside the arithmetic class, it is going to call, right? So this is one basics of method, you can say overloading, I am explaining here. Now again in the same, if you will see the more complex scenario, or more complex scenario in the sense is what? I will just write one more example of method overloading itself and hope you all will understand what is the uses of this. So suppose first I am writing one class, let us say A, I am writing one class, very basic things I am using, very basic names I am using. One more class I am writing class B. So class A is there as well as class B is there. Now again one more class I am writing, that is the hello class I am writing, fine. Now see, when I am writing the void of M1 method I wanted to write, one method I can write without passing any parameters. So when I am calling it M1 in which class now? In case of hello I am writing. Can I write it? Yes, of course we can write it. Void of M1 again when I am passing. So in that now I am calling int a, I am writing, and then here I am doing, that is the which one now? M1 of what I am going to call now? Int a in which class now? In the case of hello I am going to write. I have written hello in that. So here again. Now another type of method parameter what I want, see, if I am writing, what I am writing now? Can I write a of a1 as an parameter? Yes, of course, we should use it, because a of a1 in which class now we are using now? Hello we are using here. So here the method number of parameter, if you will see here in both of the M1s it is same, but the type of parameters what is available here and what is available here, it got changed. Now the similar type of method parameter, again I am writing M1 in that b of b1 when I am writing. When I am writing b of b1, in this case now M1 of b1 in which case now? We are writing here in the case of hello again. Now see, if we'll just talk about these methods. So can I say that these all methods are overloaded methods? Yes. If these methods are overloaded method, then what next we need to do? First one, I am going to create object of class hello. I am creating the object of class hello, fine. After creating the object of class hello, the next thing what I am going to do in these cases here is what? Suppose h1 dot, which method now I am going to call now? M1 method I am going to call. When I am calling M1 method, so see, this is the exactly matching method parameter is found, so it is going to call this method. Which method it is going to call? M1 method it is going to call, right? But at the same time again, when I am passing for the M1, what I am passing? h1 dot M1 I am passing here 111 value, so it is calling that method also. Whereas again h1 dot, suppose now see, here now the question comes, see a of a1 is a reference variable and here b of b1 is also a reference variable. So if both are the reference variable, so what I want to do, and now if I wanted to call any one of the methods, so one common value I can say the default value, can I pass null in order to call these methods? See that. But the question here is, null is the default value of A1 also, whereas null is the default value of B1 also. So now which method is going to call? That's the question number 1. Fine. And oh, okay, here it is showing some errors. You can see ambiguity. What is that now? It is showing some ambiguity, which means it is not able to decide which one it has to call, right? So let's say, if suppose I am commenting this one, any of the method, I am commenting here, I have commented this method. After commenting, now I wanted to call this. So see, then there is no confusion which method has to call. It is calling automatically and it is coming, right? But at the same time now, when we are removing this comment, and here again I'll write one more method, I'll overload with one more parameter. What is the method parameter I'm going to overload here now? It is the, I'm writing string of S1 I am writing, and now see, M1 of string S1 inside which class now I am writing now? Hello. Now see, here again then I am writing void of M1, and see, as we know, object class is the superclass for all types of classes in Java. So I am writing here M1 of object O in which class now? In class hello. Now see, if you will say like when I am passing null, which one it is going to call? It's a very difficult thing, right? So always remember that, see, first of all I am commenting, let's say I am commenting 1 point. Now see, now the problem which it is going to give between these two, one is S1 and A, and as well as O is also there, because O is also a reference variable of which class? Object class. So for this, how it is going to do? Now see, whenever this kind of situation comes, always the preference will be given to the method which is having subtype of parameter. But object class is the superclass, no doubt. But in that, string is the immediate superclass of object, subclass of object, and for A class is also the subclass of object. So in this two, to which it is going to call? If that is the question which we have here, so from here, if I am commenting 1 also, if suppose I am commenting this line, so now see, out of object and A, see, there is a relation between object class and A class, because for any class, object class is the superclass. So for this class also, and now A class is the subclass. So preference will be given to which class now? A. So now this is going to be called in that. So always preference which is going to there, that will be given to the subtype of method parameter in this case. Hope you understand this output, what is available in these cases, right? It is now again. So this is one method overloading, and a good example which we are discussing inside this, and it can clear your one of the very proper or genuine doubts, like what it could be, right? Most of the times, many places it has been asked in the interviews, like how it is used to work, right? Now there is a question is that, can I overload, or can I overload a method inside super and subclasses also? See, it's an, I'll explain something and then I'll say whether we can do it or not. So suppose I am writing one more class, see, what I'll say, according to me, inside the superclass and subclass also we can overload the method. Suppose there is a class hello, so I am writing what now? Void of M1 method I am writing, and when I am writing overwriting here M1 method, so M1 in which class now I am writing? Hello class I am writing. When I am writing class hello inside this, so again now I am writing void of, see if this is the M1 method, I wanted to write one more class. What is that? Class hi, which extends, which one now? Hello class it is extending. In the class hello, in the subclass, see, if it is the subclass, then this method, will it be inherited or not? Definitely it will be inherited. So if I'll write M1, it is going to give error. Why it is going to give error? What is the reason? Can't I write another class with the method with a different signature or different return type? So it is giving error because, see, everything I have written fine for this M1 method or something you can say high. So it is giving error because this method is somehow inherited to the class high. So it is considering that, or it is supposing like in a class high we have two methods, which is one M1 method without any parameter, which is having return type as an int, and the second one here, so I am writing second one is the void. It is behaving like this, it is thinking like this. So in that now we can write this, but we need to change the parameter of this. So what I say, like this method which is there, it is coming somehow to the high class, right? And when it is coming to the high class inside these cases, so what it does now, when it is coming to the high class, so anyhow this is also coming to the high class, right? And this method is also there inside this. So when these two methods are available, both methods are available, so I can say that in a super and subclass also we can overload the methods also, right? So this is one of the very important concept, that is the method overloading. Thank you.